Welcome. Thank you for being here. The astute among you may have noticed that I'm not Todd Wilson. My name is Emily Butler. I provide the administrative support for these concerts. Todd is away with the Cleveland Orchestra this week, so I get the privilege of welcoming you. We're so glad to have you here. Thank you to those of us joining online. I think that's this camera. Maybe I just pointed in the wrong direction. But we're glad you're here regardless. We've been really lucky this season. I think sometimes we think of chamber music and we sort of default to assuming, oh, a string quartet or something like that. We've been really lucky this season to be able to bring you some other types of colors that are available in chamber music. And so today we're really excited to have the Somerset Trio on oboe, French horn, and piano. But before we hand you over to today's performers, a couple quick announcements. This is our last concert until after Thanksgiving. We have no programming next week, no BrownBag, no Evensong for those of you who like to have a double header on Wednesdays and come back for the 6 p.m. service. But when we come back after Thanksgiving, the 29th of November, December 6th, December 13th, 3 weeks in a row, we've got holiday-themed concerts. On the 29th, we have one of our highlights of the year every year is singing Benjamin Britten's Ceremony of Carols. It's accompanied by harp, and so we always have the wonderful Jody Gwynn with us, and she'll start the program with some solo pieces, some duets with Todd on the organ. That's always a really fun program for us. The next week, you'll hear Todd and some of his students from the organ studio at the Cleveland Institute of Music playing festive music for the organ. And then on December 13th, we'll finish our season with the Messiah Sing. It's nice to be able to be doing that again. That is always a really a popular day. We will have some scores available if you want to sing along. If you happen to have a score at home and you're able to bring it, that's great too. But we'd love to have you, whether or not you want to sing. It's always an occasion with a lot of enthusiasm from people. So we're really excited for those coming up. And also, Todd's not here, and so I can say some of this stuff more openly than he probably would say it himself. But those are our last 3 chances to hear him either conducting or playing before he retires as artistic director at the end of December. So another reason to try to make it for those concerts if you're able to. We are also excited on Sunday, December 3rd at 4 p.m. You can find all of the details of this on the back of your program, like I just cheated. So Sunday, December 3rd at 4 p.m., we will have a Lessons and Carols for Advent here. That should also be a lot of really lovely music. We're trying to make that an annual event, so that's been a lot of fun these last few years. So we hope you'll be able to join us for those events. We're grateful that you're here regardless. This is why we're able to have this kind of program. If you are able and interested in giving, you may have noticed that we've started including a little fancy QR code on the back of your programs. So you can, if you are smartphone inclined, you can scan that and make a donation. If you're watching at home, I believe the link is still going to pop up on your screen, or you can always go to trinitycleveland.org and then click on music, and there will be a link on that page. If you prefer sending a check, you can make it out to Music and Art at Trinity. And the mailing address here is 2230 Euclid Avenue, Cleveland, Ohio 44115. We are very grateful for any support that you're able to give, but we're even more grateful that you're here regardless of that. So I'm about to hand you over to our musicians for today, but we are also very grateful to some sponsors for our season. Today's concert is sponsored by some people who have been sort of stalwarts of music at Trinity for a long time. Some of you may know Bishop Williams, but we're very grateful to Bishop Arthur and Mrs. Lynette Williams for sponsoring today's program. And now I'm going to hand you over to the Somerset Trio, Danna Sundet on oboe, Mark Addleman on French horn, and Beth Etter on piano. Please welcome.
Thank you. Oh, there it is. Thank you all. I'm Mark Addleman, French horn, Danna Sundet on oboe, and Beth Etter on piano, and we are the Somerset Trio. What we just played for you is the suite for horn, oboe, and piano by Arutiunian, Alexander Arutiunian, who was an Armenian composer, moved over and studied at the State Conservatory in Moscow, the State Conservatory of the USSR, and was a rather prolific composer, but I would not be surprised if you haven't heard much of his works. The only piece prior to this that I really knew was his trumpet concerto, trumpet and orchestra. He was born in, I believe, the 1920s, lived until the early 2000s, and this piece was written in 2005.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. I'm so happy to share this space with my trio. I've been playing here since I was in college in the mid-1980s, and it's such a great place to play and a great space to play. And this is the first time our Somerset Trio has played for you. And on October 4th, some of you came to hear Todd and I play the Koetsier partita for organ and English horn. And when Todd asked me to do that, I said, hey, our trio is playing a fabulous Koetsier piece, and so I'm excited. That's last on our program today for us to share that with you, so you can compare this fabulous Dutch composer with writing for organ and English horn, and then coming up with an arrangement for this instrumentation. The next piece that we're playing for you is by a Russian composer who was the resident composer for the Moscow Circus. So you're going to hear some really acrobatic things that he's written. And as Mark mentioned, none of, or at least these two pieces that we're opening with today, they're not recorded. So we're excited maybe even to get a recording today to share with our students. A little bit about us. We three play in the Erie Philharmonic, and if some of you would like to come to the wonderful Warner Theaters during COVID, our wonderful management used that time to renovate our theater, and we're one of the only 3 original Warner Brothers movie theaters in the country, and they did a wonderful job on the renovation. right on State Street in Erie, Pennsylvania. And our management is so wonderful that they told us that if any of you, and even live stream online, if you would like to come to any of our concerts with the Erie Philharmonic, you just have to mention our names, and they will give you a buy one, get one ticket. So you have to remember our names. So without further ado, we will play the trio by Strukow, resident composer for the Moscow Circus. So you're going to hear some really amazing, acrobatic, difficult things to play.
Thank you so much. Fun to hear the circus flair in that one. While we're letting our performers have a moment to catch their breath, we'll pass the baskets for those of you who are interested in putting something in. And as a reminder, you can also use that QR code on the back of the program. Thank you very much for your generosity, but thank you again for being here regardless. Just to reiterate a couple of things, remember that there's no programming next week on Wednesday, but that next week we've got 3 weeks in a row of holiday concerts. And then we also, just to really revel in all the wonderful music of the season, on Sunday, December 3rd at 4 p.m., we have Advent Lessons and Carols, which should have a lot of really lovely music in it, as I was saying. Thank you again for being here. We've got one more piece, but we're going to give them a couple minutes to take a breather, give you a moment to stretch, and we'll pass the baskets. Thank you very much.
Can you hear me? Okay. Well, let me just first say a few words about what it's like to work in this group. We actually got together during COVID, during the worst years of COVID, and we were so dedicated that we first tried using an app that allowed us to rehearse with one another putting one track over top of the other. And this was because we were just about to be launched in our debut concert through the Erie Philharmonic Chamber Series, and it was all shut down. So as Dana puts it, we're the do or die folks, and we just are completely determined. We're then, and obviously we made it through those. We made some recordings during that time, which the Erie Philharmonic then proceeded to use in various ways. So it's a real process here. We work like a team. We are a team, and we make mistakes, we fix them, we make another mistake, we fix that too, and so it's really a testament to how people can work together. So I want you to know that that's how we feel about it. Thank you. Thank you. The next piece that we're going to play is sort of, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's also hair-raising for all of us. It's incredibly challenging music to play, but it's so beautiful that we are determined to keep playing it until one day we're able to start in and think, oh, this is a piece of cake. It's by Jan Koetsier, who is a Dutchman. He was born in the 1930s, and he started out as a conductor for shortwave radio in Berlin. Then he spent a year accompanying a dancer. He played for the opera orchestra at The Hague. He was a conductor at the Concertgebouw, and then went to Germany and was conductor for a Bavarian radio orchestra until 2006 when he died. He dedicated this piece to Peter Dahm, who was a legendary German horn player. He was principal at Leipzig from 1969 to 2002. He was principal at Leipzig preceding his tenure as principal at the Dresden State Orchestra from 1969 to 2002. And one of the things that's pretty amazing about him, he must have been a big deal. He played the Strauss Concerto 150 times. So we hope you enjoy this.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us. It was a pleasure to play for you today. A great audience and so supportive. We really appreciate that. Have a wonderful rest of your day.